understand that you're going to get in this East Coast car, or your homeboys are going to think that you're disrespecting them. So
salute to that, man, and salute to Mr. Young. Okay, so at what point do you decide, man, you know what, fuck it, I got to get out of here, man, and you really start nailing down on the law side of things? Salute to you too. For all my viewers that don't know, man, Chad is an amazing, I don't know the right word, law attorney, whatever you want to call it, man, but he a beast. So at what point did you pick that up, Chad?
So I don't care about this term, right? I become a jailhouse lawyer, one of the best in the feds, man. The jailhouse lawyers just, I started doing legal work right from the rip. I'm like, man, ain't no one gonna fight for my life like I'm gonna fight for my own life, right? No lawyer, no paid lawyer. And eventually you learn that a lot of paid lawyers don't give a shit about you. So I'm in there, I'm fighting for my life. So I started doing legal work right from the rip. But then, you go to Big Sandy. I got my appeal already done, ready for my lawyer. I ended up getting this phenomenal lawyer, Jill Harrington, out of New York, who I love and respect more than anybody not more than my wife or my mom and stuff, but in that realm, like, I love her and I respect her and I appreciate her because she fought with me all the way to the end and eventually was part of the team that got me out, along with Judge John Gleason, the dude that prosecuted John Gotti, was a federal judge. Big shout out to him too. But I become a jailhouse lawyer, man. I start, working on my own case and I'm learning. I don't know, man. It's just a gift from God. I'm learning. And eventually I start helping other people, man. I've helped people like Guy Fisher. I did a video with the dude who I believe is Lil Baby's real father, Rodney Love. I helped Rodney. That dude that died ain't his real father, no matter what people believe or think. Rodney Love is his real father. Rodney had life plus 55. We ended up getting it knocked down to 27. He just got out recently. But yeah, man, I start knocking, shit out of the box. I start helping people, man. And once you start winning, everybody's like, yo, I like this dude. I need this dude's help. So, I start winning a lot of cases.
Salute to that, man. Salute to that. You also say you wrote the first compassionate release. What is compassionate release and how did that play out?
So this is how it plays out, right? Trump's the president. They're pushing him to do some criminal justice reform. He ends up passing under his administration the first step back, like on the last day, this stuff gets passed, right? And there's a caveat in there that says, if you can show the judge that there's extraordinary and compelling reasons, you can get out of prison. Now, I'm reading that with this dude named Chris Hunter. Chris just recently got out too on the CARES Act. Chris had 35 years, did a whole bunch of time. And we're kind of going over this shit, and I'm explaining to him like, yo, man, I really think that we can find a way out this way. Dudes are laughing at me in the law library. I write some of the dudes, some lawyers, they're like, and I save the emails in case they ever say anything. I got them. And they're like, nah, you're wrong. But eventually, people figure out I'm right. I do the Conrado Cantu case. I'm going to keep it 100. He was the sheriff in Texas. He was the mayor. He ends up getting like 20-something years. And I tell him, hey, man, I think I'm right. And he's like, man, let's try it. I said, all right, let's try it. So I write it. I write it from my prison cell. I write that joint. We send it in. And the judge agrees that the First Step Act says that federal judges can reduce your sentence if you can prove extraordinary and compelling reasons for the judge to do it. We put that joint in. We win. Since then, thousands and thousands of people have gotten out of prison. I've helped numerous people get out of prison. I've won numerous cases all over the country. Not being arrogant, man. It ain't about me. It's about getting dudes out that deserve a second chance, man. One of the dudes was Chazzy Glenn out of New York. G. Shine Blood, one of the originators. He had life. I got his sentence reduced to, 30 or 35. Not too long ago, he was never getting out. Now he's got a release date. Noah Spino kills someone involved in, Mexican gang organization. He pays a lawyer, I think $10,000. They do an 8-page motion, they lose. I go back in 15 months later, redo it, and I win. I get his sentence reduced to 30 years. He went in at 19. Now he's getting out. But I mean, that's just a couple of the cases. I won a lot. I won my own case. I wrote my own stuff, man. Once I filed it, Judge Gleason takes over. They help me, Jill Harrington. We fight. I get 2 hearings, bro. People don't get hearings on compassionate release. But the prosecution was trying to crush me. They did not want me out. Had the SIS guy come testify on me, about gang affiliations, all kinds of nonsense. And the judge knocks him down on that and says, man, you guys are lying. I caught you lying. But the judge lets me out and gives me a shot, man. And I've been out almost 4 years now.
Okay. I was going to say, before we get out, let them know what SIS is, man, because a lot of people be playing with that, not knowing what it really is. And 2, okay, so you write yours. When you get that letter and you get the news like, man, Chad going home, how does that play out? Give me that day. How does that work out?
So the SIS is kind of like the police that police the police, right? And the inmates. You do something, man, they're the dudes that they got what's called an SIA. He's the dude that he's like a cop inside the prison. He comes, he testifies on you, he writes the reports, he does all of that. So it's the police, it's like the police policing the police and the inmates. Those are when they come in, they kind of usually got something serious on you. And just one more thing, you know, when I got out, like I said, almost 4 years ago, I come home, I start a paralegal company, Freedom Fighters, and since then, man, we've gotten a bunch of people out of prison. That day when I get the news, like I see this email, right? I'm on their email because, you know, we got emails in the feds, core links, whatever.
Core links,
and I see like I'm almost done. Like they got a 30-minute time limit on it. I'm almost done, and I see this thing pop up, you know, in the description. You won, whatever. So I click on it real quick. I'm trying to read it, and the computer goes off. I'm like, oh shit. So I call this lady that's been helping me also, and she's like, yo, man, it's over with. You won. Now look, it had took the judge like 14 months before he ruled on my motion. And eventually I would meet with my judge later on. He would call me to I meet with him in his chambers with my wife. I got 2 little twin boys now that are just turned 2. The judge says, I want to see you, man. I want to talk to you. And I meet with my judge in the chambers, man. Like, I don't think that happens often. Mm-hmm. So anyway, man, long story short, they're like, yo, man, you won. I go tell my boy Jimmy Romans, who has life for weed out of Texas. And I've been walking the yard thinking like, damn, Jimmy's going to get compassionate release, man. Jimmy's going to get clemency. Something's going to happen before I get out. And this is my right hand man. I used to feel sad, like, damn, he's a nonviolent drug offender. He's getting out, and I'm going to be stuck here. The dude that I hang out with every day is going to get out. And I'm thinking, damn, I'm happy for him, but sad inside. And it happens the other way around. I get out. I win. And I go tell Jimmy right away, like, yo, bro, I won, man. I'm out of here. And he's happy, but you can also see that he's sad. And I tell him, listen, man, when I walk out of this spot, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to get you out of here. And keeping it real with you, man, I did everything I could for him. I wrote his clemency petition, and it gets granted. It gets granted. But let me tell you something. A bunch of people always want credit for stuff, right? Man, really, I don't care about the credit. I care that my man got out of prison. He had life for weed. No violence, nothing. But, I wrote his shit, and everybody else wants credit for it. But when I got out, I had contacted some people that were, posting shit on the news. Alice Johnson was all in the news because Trump let her out. And I'm like, yo, listen, man, you're using my man's picture, but you ain't helping. I contacted another dude that's close at the White House that I was doing a bunch of legal work for him that he was doing for other people. He was charging a little fee, whatever. I make a little couple dollars, but I was doing the legal work. And I'm like, yo, man, I need help with my man. Like, you guys are putting his picture up on your commercials on national television, but you ain't helping him get out. And they ended up, I pushed him, man, and they helped him. And he got out, man. He's out. So, I care about people. Man, I told dudes when I left, I'm going to be the voice of the voiceless. I was just in D.C. in October. I stood at the rewriting the sentencing summit. I got up and talked, man. Federal judges, prosecutors, sitting federal judges. And I addressed them, man, about 924C stacking, disproportionate, destroying people's, it is what it is, right? Disproportionately destroying African-Americans' lives, man. 20-year-old kids going to jail for 100 years, never getting out. They got the wrong judge. They'll never get compassionate release. So Underwood was there from New York, did like 30-something years. Them dudes came up to me afterwards and was like, yo, man, really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate what you said in there. And, hey, it's for the people, man. It ain't for me. And didn't no one pay for me to go there. I paid my own way, my own hotel, my own vehicle, my own plane. I paid all of that shit. So I go down there and try to help people, man.
And you know what, Chad, man, salute to you, because that's the realest thing a man can do, man. When you leave, when you in the struggle with a dude or with the men and you leave and you don't forget about the man, salute to that. That's one of the realest things you can do, because a lot of people talk that tough, but as soon as they get outside that court building, they don't remember nothing that they promised to the men on the inside, man. So my hat's off to you. All right, man, can I get 3 more questions, and I ain't going to waste no more of your time. We out of here. So number 1, man, how many penitentiaries have you been to?
Penitentiaries in 20 years, 18 years, whatever. Let me see. I think I've been in three or four penitentiaries.
Which one was the worst?
hands down to me, man. Big Sandy was the worst, and Pollock was probably the second worst.
Okay, for my viewers, these stories with V. One of the wildest things you've seen, and you ain't got to give it to us too long. One of the wildest incidents you've seen.
One of the wildest incidents I've seen a dude get murdered, but I don't know if that's the most, if that's the wildest thing.
Okay.
The wildest thing was this Norteño kid, man. You would think, damn, you see someone get killed, but the Norteño thing was just, it was crazy, right? The Northerners, they end up getting on this kid that was in the cell next to me. He was a bulldog, Fresno bulldog, and they let him go in the cell, and they're kind of, I got a little store, so he's over there telling me all his business. He comes by sodas, he wants to kick it. He's like, yeah, these dudes want me out of the cell because they don't want me to have a knife. Their rules are I can't have a knife because we're enemies in the state. And, they're acting like they're my boss. There's only 2 of us here. And then one day he's like, yo, it's Halloween, man. I think it was Halloween 2009, USP Lee. And he's like, yo, look, man, I got to go out to the yard. These dudes want me out there. He goes out to the yard. I had just heard something, man, that really was disturbing to me. And I'm like, man, I ain't going to chow either. I'm going to the yard. I'm out there in the yard walking. Like, damn, man. You know, something that really devastated me, man. And I'm walking the yard, man, and I see these dudes running and jogging. They stabbed the shit out of him, man. Stabbed him in the face, the head, the back. And this is a kid that I talk to every day. So I'm like, damn. And he tells me he's all bloody, man. I'm talking about, you know, them Fed coats are kind of heavy. Coats full of blood. He's like, man, help me, man. Help me, Chad, help me. And I'm like, man, I can't help you. If I help you, these motherfuckers gonna try to kill me. It's not my business. I can't help you. But inside my heart, bro, you know, I wanted to help this dude, but I couldn't help him. I tell him, man, go to the shack, man, get the medical, go to the shack. He's got to go to the police to get to at the shack to go to medical, right? So he ends up going to medical. He ends up living, man. But you know, the cat that comes out there, like, who the fuck is in the tower? The tower didn't see this dude getting stabbed, and they viciously stabbed this dude, man. No one's seen it. He, you know, and then that day, man, they take all the Norteños, put them all in the hole. They take them off the yard to never see the yard ever again. They transfer them all to different prisons. But that was the wildest, because when you know, a dude could get stabbed one time in the chest and die, which pretty much happened when I was at USP Lee, and dude dies with 1 or 2 shots to the heart. And to see someone that's viciously stabbed 30, 40 times and he lives, man, and I'm talking about this dude was stabbed, man, numerous times, man. Just blood all over his face, man. I think they stabbed him in the eye. Just that's vicious, man. When you see something like that, that's vicious.
Crazy, man, crazy. All right, Chad, the last one we got out here, man. Let the people know you go through all that to where you are today, man, and let people know that this is what can happen if you know, get yourself together, come out here and do the right thing. Where's Chad at today, man?
So, man, I walk out of prison after, you know, almost 18 years pretty much, man. I ain't got nothing, but what I do have is I got a plan, man. So I come out here, that's my book behind me, Blood on the Razor Wire. You know, the book sells out the first day I put it up on Amazon, homie, keeping it real. And I come out and they're like, yo, you got to get a job. I said, man, I am the job. I've been working for you people for $20 a month, man, for the last 20 years. I said, I am the job. I ain't getting a job. I got a paralegal company that I'm putting together. Tell them I can show you better than I can tell you. Probation dude was like, okay. Well, eventually that's what I do, and I do it fast, man. And I start making a couple dollars. You know, ain't no problem making $1 if you're making a difference, right? So I make a couple dollars, but I help a lot of people for free too, man. People call me, they ain't got it, man. I help them. That's what it is. So I put the paralegal company together. Dude calls me like, hey, man, you want to do a YouTube video? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what YouTube is. Yeah, I'll do an interview. And I'm like, yo, how's this thing work? He tells me how it works. I'm like, you make money doing this? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I think I can do this a little better than him. You know, I taught classes in prison, whatever. But, you know, dude helped me. I'm not going to say that he didn't. He did help me. He put me on the track. Put the YouTube channel together, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Got over 200,000 subscribers. But you know what, man? The mission is to save kids from life imprisonment, premature death in the streets. That was the original mission, but it helps a lot of dudes getting out, man. It's like a community, and it helps me. I don't make money like some of these dudes make 10, 15, 20,000, 40,000 a month. I don't make anything like that. But I do it, man, because I want to do it. It's therapeutic. It's my little time with the people. And a lot of men and women that are getting out of prison, they find kind of a home there, you know, like we kick it and we do things over there. So they can check us out, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. I promise you won't be disappointed. We'll try to put out a big Meech story, tell people why he's going to get out in 2024. People are posting 2025, but that man will be home before Christmas, I believe. So that's what I'm doing, man. I got the Freedom Fighters Paralegal company. If you know, for your viewers, man, here's the good part of the story. When I go to prison, man, I'm married. My wife, you know, she leaves me because why? I got 40 years, bro. She's got to live her best life, man. She can't wait on no one. I get out of prison, man. We reconnect. She waited for me for a while, longer than a lot of people wait. But, you know, eventually she's got to go on with her life. We reconnect, get remarried. We got 2 little twin boys, and we're living our best life, man.
Salute, Chad, man. Like I say always, man, thank you for even coming onto the platform. Make sure my whole V squad, man, make sure all of my subscribers, all 1,400 of us, man, shoot over there to Blood on the Razor Wire. Smash that subscribe button for my brother, man. Make sure you shoot to Amazon, grab that book, Chad. Let them know what the book is again.
The book is Blood on the Razor Wire. That's it on the back there. Dudes read it in one day. Women, men, old ladies, white, black, Hispanic. People say, man, I couldn't put it down. So you can check out the first 3 chapters for free on Amazon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure y'all rush over there and support my brother, man. Again, Chad, thank you, man. Hopefully we can chop it up and do this again. From me to you, man, thank you for coming over here with Stories with V, man. I salute.